similar in southern Thailand,
but it's because it's a form of war. This is okay. You missed it because you were in Vietnam, but this is what Osamu Nishitani presented very brilliantly.
Okay.
The jihad as a completely new form of asymmetric war. So okay, religion is concerned, but maybe it's not the main aspect. If you think about it in terms of history of war, of modern wars, it's something which is completely new. And yeah, so this is it.
No, it can be global and local, but still.
Yes, of course.
That is still a very heavy-loaded term. You can also say Yujizan. So all these Chinese communists, they also use very asymmetrical forces, right, to surround the city and so to break from all different corners. So I don't like to use this term jihad because originally it also means to struggle, to fight for the truth, right? But it is also an Islamic term. So if he wants to use it as a universal battle, I mean, then I don't know whether that is really.
It's just the way the people who do it call it. This is their way to call it.
They call it, so those people.
Yes.
Sure.
This is their way to call their war.
All right. We can stop it here.
So there is nothing pejorative or derogatory about it. This is their way to call their war against the West and against the corrupt local power. In Mali, it's obvious. The complete decay of the state.
Sure.
So it's a question of vocabulary.
Yeah.
That I mean, the disappearance of particular. I mean, that's why they don't call it revolution, because I mean, there are particular words or concepts that are no longer that are difficult to put into use. And jihad has, I mean, in the last 20, 30 years, emerged on the basis of failed modernization projects in North Africa and the Middle East as one vehicle of anti-colonial struggle.
It's very important for us in France because it may be equal with the Vietnam of the French army. Let's go.
In that way, I reply to your the question of how the colonial
the European phases.
in the area we traveled and stayed, East Africa, which is formerly the British colony. Now, I would say that very few left. I think you're right. The French are more involved in Western Africa and Sub-Saharan area, but the East African, like Kenya, like Uganda, Uganda, I don't see much remnants of the UK colonial. Only probably bank or financial. You still Charter and the Barclay, the two British banks are dominant. Besides that, I don't see much. The British left over. To my surprise is that actually during the colonial era, we have trained from Kampala to Nairobi to Mombasa, all the way to Indian Ocean, built by the British colonial. But only right after, just 1 year after that, the whole railroad abolished. Abolished because they cannot maintain it. And the British after independence, the British government are no intent to helping them to maintain that. So now you see China coming in, building Mombasa, Nairobi, and maybe future to that in a new project. But that surprised me, once the independence your whole railway system abolished. Yeah. So yeah, that's my experience. Yeah. So I think maybe West French involvement in Western Africa is more heavy.
Well, what I meant, rather the way maybe the coloniality passed to local elites. So the way these people behave, rule the country, how they think about the way they have to manage the country, things like that. How do you feel?
For example, the white holding the place of South Africa, that's one typical example, right?
The one?
The white people.
Yeah.
Yeah, in power in South Africa.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So he's talking about this continuation of the elite, our elite, or economic elite too, from the colonial period down to post-colonial state.
Not much in East Africa. Idi Amin are trained and officer coming from the British colony. But then now, I don't see much. Okay, maybe I just put one point. First, why? Actually, my concern of this begin with in the presentation of some postdoctoral fellows in the Institute for Social Research. They are presenting a very nice paper on the conflicts and the situation in northern Uganda. Yeah, and then my discussion, I bring a lot of comparison with what I'm familiar. My dissertation doing the 20th century Chinese Revolution. So I have plenty of background to bring into discussion with his situation of China. Particularly before 1949, but some also relevant after 1949. But my discussion, interesting. My discussion, the presenter got confused. They don't know what they never think of their African case has something broader relevance with some other place. And then the presiders also, I think, also in a period, young fellow in the institute, also thinks my comment or questions seems quite remote. Finally, it will have Namu Madani who sit inside, and then help to bring my questions' relevance to their questions, and hint that they should broaden their the perspective of their questions at hand, rather than think of it as just like African questions. So that experience, then I think, okay, this institute, except for the founder and now the director Mandami, most of them are thinking of or research of African standards with very few relevant perspective from outside. But then I think of our own history here. That's almost similar. Besides few professors, probably most of the graduate student or other professors has feel that also very remote for them and unfamiliar. So that's the first occasion that I think, and then what I bring to this discussion, all these things, for example, like 张宗逊曾经讲，there's one intellectual mentioned that in China during the first half of the 20th century, 不是兵就是匪，有没有听过这个？所有那个means 兵 means soldier, 匪 means bandit. So the whole China, you see the problem is so difficult to solve because all either they are soldiers or they are bandits. But the line are so Europeans. For example, we have local warlord. We have revolutionary coming from Guangdong, Kuomintang, nationalist. When they rise, they are just like any rebel groups in that. And then later you have a communist group, and during those 40 years, they are just like any rebel groups, like that. And then all these kind of things, sometimes you belong to soldiers, but it's very difficult. Any part of them can do atrocities to the peasant rural villages, of similar kind of things. And then sometimes today, when they control it, it is soldiers. But when they on the fight or change flag, or they have been defeated, they become wandering bandits. So all these things are so familiar, to in the early part of China. So that's what I bring into the discussion. Yeah.
I would think so. It is still I think helpful to differentiate these forms or categories of violence. For example, primitive violence you mentioned is a very primitive grabbing property, land, lives, right, to survive, but also just by exterminating other people, right, through violence. But those are, in a larger scale, there could be tribal violence. That's very common, like our kind in China or in Africa, or feudalistic violence. That is the turnover of the dynasty in China. Okay, each time it could be 500,000 or 1 million, and also the Mongolians, they could also just destroy the whole population of certain cities. So, those primitive violence could take the form or disguise as symbolic violence when they become the state, and also in structural form. Okay, so that is. So I think still, if we could discuss this very primitive violence, and also how does it also show through the grabbing of lands or through juridical way and so on. Okay, so there's
Sure.
One other thing concerning the jihad, insurrection or insurgency, or just rebel against the state. That's a term, right? And jihad, I don't know whether the French would like to join those people against the state for revolution or insurrection. I mean, the jihad is still used by this Islamic or Muslim population.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
there's a loaded term. Yeah, it is not just.
It's
Right.
if it develops itself in this region, there will be young French Muslims who will join the jihad in this region as they did in Syria, to be sure.
Many of those, for example, from Belgium, they went.
From Belgium, from
And
France.
then they are
there will
forbidden
be-
to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in Europe,
But
that is happening, but there are also many people, maybe in Indonesia,
Yes.
less in
Yes.
Malaysia, but
Yes.
maybe more in southern Thailand, it could be.
Yes.
About analytically categorize the term violence, I think my presentation got to let you aware how you should you should not restrict yourself to these kind of categories. For example, South Sudan. Now the world news reported that civil war is more modern times. So you understand that. But those things puzzled me, and then I find out, the trades, they very frequently, have those kind of, legacies or something like habits or something of the previous, history. And then we are so, I'm not sure, so for example, like in Nigeria, we call it ethnic strife, we call it religious strife, but they are also have a very difficult background of, poverty, inequality of resources, and weak or failed state or something like that. When we each factors we talk about and emphasize that, it will become violence of that kind. So now this talk just bring into that we have to aware each of our case. It's not easy to make clean and fit by certain kind of men.
But the second, of course, obvious question will be why the government failed to refrain from this or to encourage this violence. So
True, it's an important long story.
That's the point of equal laws analysis also, stasis as some kind of original civil war for
will be translated into like a civil war. But usually, if we are not bringing this kind of aspect, we just know, okay, South Sudan, there's a civil war going on, but the civil war, why civil war like this? Why this is happening? It's possible. It's very possible.
other questions, we've been occupying students or other want to comment?
Yeah. Your title, you mentioned feeling, especially in the sense of the blues. So I want to know this philosophical words, the relation between this philosophical word between your the relation between the philosophy word and your presentation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not peculiar for this talk. Usually I'm thinking problems, but also following my feeling. There are some background stories talking about such kind of feeling. Let me try to show you. 如何用那个 Google now how let's say that 我们开一个新的，在这边就可以啊 ，OK，
你马弄地图啊，你的麦马第二个，对对。
OK， 地图，然后我的话会有说我要到哪里去，那个我要到哪里去这个地方，这边上。你按这个，我用那个。Google。
对，上面有上面。
路线，这个路线。
你先写上。
before I went to Africa, or first few weeks in Africa. Do you know what I'm planning? I'm planning, since I'm here in Uganda, Kampala, and I want to see some of Central and Western Africa. So I like to go to Kinshasa, maybe plane or travel to Kinshasa. I would like to rent a car and drive to there. So I really studied this seriously, and then. Okay, so so I look on Google Map, and it showed me, 52 hours. So if I rent a car and drive 8 hours a day, into how many days? A week. Using my American travel experience or European travel experience, I think maybe I should rent a car and drive to Kinshasa. I seriously studied this, and then I find out why they already take consideration of possible route. So they go to safe place, Rwanda, and then go to south, and avoiding go to the jungle of Congo River, which these three provinces just uphill. So I gradually read the news, and then I find out this is an impossible trip. So I give up. The plan. So you see this talk coming from my feeling. My feeling. I really seriously planning to go to visit this place, and how naive at that time my sense of moving, traveling in Africa. So actually I studied indigenously beforehand of everywhere I go. So I take courses enough to survive. So that's feeling, thinking. All these are coming from. Like Karamoja. Firstly, I met this begging children on the street just outside my community. So then I learned. Okay, their family come to this Kampala 80 years ago. And under what circumstances like this. So it's really grow from my daily experience.
Other question or comment?
I lost my Chinese audience.
有啊，都有啊，有啊，都係識啊。So if that's okay, then we can stop here. Any question or comment? No? No friend?
Maybe one more.
Okay. All right.
In your presentation, is there a main problematic, or just analyze?
Just tell strange stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
your
there
sense of
a main
problematic. 6 stories.
Yeah, main problematic.
Yeah.
Can connect each.
Yeah, I think the 6 stories each have a different context.
But the linking thread?
It's called Africa is complicated.
Yeah, right.
I think violence in all different forms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of, for example, another thing maybe my experience of slum. I've plenty of slum, and then maybe talk about the religions, tribute into the religion. And then I would develop the, slowly. No, I'm not up to promotion now. So.
Yeah, right. No, Dr. Chu has been teaching courses on different violence, state violence, religious violence in the past. So that is why. Okay, so I think that's enough. A long talk and exciting. So let's thank Professor Chu. And we made him to switch from Mandarin to English at the last minute.
I'm okay, but I don't know whether there are people discussing about the switch because it's announced.
Yeah.